Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome to another episode of Raw Politics. I hope you're doing fine. I'm also okay. Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto met today in Uhuru Kenyatta's home in Gatundu. In this particular video, we look at what they discussed and what it means politically for the region of Mount Kenya, and specifically one regarding Gachagua. If that is a topic you are interested in, stay tuned. And if you're watching for the first time, take a moment, subscribe to this channel. I am 100% persuaded that Uhuru Kenyatta, together with Dini Nyoro, played a part to get Rigathi out of government. Actually, I did videos on both. I did a video on how Dini Nyoro tricked Rigathi. I also did a video on how Uhuru Kenyatta trapped Rigathi Gachagua and helped him to impeach himself. If you've not watched the video on Uhuru's role in Rigathi's downfall, I've linked it here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second time the President of the Republic is meeting the former president since inauguration. The other time they met was recently in an event in Embu. A friend of Uhuru Kenyatta was being consecrated as a bishop, and they had also invited President William Ruto. It was a very interesting meeting because Kindiki Kithure, having been appointed the DP, also attended, but also the former DP, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, attended the meeting. Why was I saying it was a funny meeting? Because Rigathi Gachagua, in his attempt to get control of Mount Kenya, decided to praise Uhuru Kenyatta and cleanse Uhuru Kenyatta in the eyes of the people of Mount Kenya. Rigathi would say, and I can quote, that we were misled not to trust our son, that Uhuru Kenyatta meant well for us, that Uhuru Kenyatta is our king. I'm quoting Rigathi Gachagua. He said Uhuru Kenyatta is the king of Mount Kenya. So fine. It paid off because when Uhuru Kenyatta came to Embu, you saw the youth of Embu chanting heroically, praising Uhuru Kenyatta as he left the venue. The funny part again was that Uhuru Kenyatta, instead of being cozy with Rigathi Gachagua, who had cleansed him somehow in the eyes of the people of the mountain, he was very cozy with Kindiki Kithure and William Ruto. In fact, I am told he did not even give Rigathi Gachagua an audience. This pissed Rigathi Gachagua off, as you can tell. After that, Rigathi started now to get crash meetings to prove his popularity. And he will now attack the president, including saying that he advised him on matters that he had publicly said he had no idea. Rigathi Gachagua was wounded on that particular day. And so the second time that Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto are meeting was today when the president visited the former president in his home in Gatundu. According to official statement from State House, they discussed so many things. But the top three, according to this statement, was the reconstitution of IBC. And you will understand why it is very important to include Uhuru Kenyatta in this. Raila Odinga's AUC bid, that is also something you will understand why Uhuru Kenyatta might play a bigger role. And the third important thing that they discussed, according to the information on official State House page, is that they talked about broad-based government and why it is important. So, ladies and gentlemen, you may be asking yourself a question. Why would William Ruto travel all the way to go to Uhuru Kenyatta in Gatundu? For some, this is like what Mwai Kibaki did when he had issues with Raila Odinga. And so he went to Moi. Actually, Moi came to State House on the invitation of Mwai Kibaki, and it was tagged as they talked on issues of national importance and Moi was going to be an advisor moving forward. So people are saying this is a replica now that Mount Kenya is gone, and Rigathi is continuing to attack the government. Uh, President Ruto might want a voice from Mount Kenya that the people of Mount Kenya can listen to, an alternative voice, and that was not going to be Kindiki. That is one way of looking at it. But as far as I'm concerned, I think President Ruto went to Uhuru Kenyatta to achieve three important things. One, the issue of IEBC reconstitution. The person who is causing the delay is none other than Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka and Uhuru Kenyatta became friends. In fact, I can dare say that Uhuru Kenyatta literally controls Kalonzo Musyoka. Even during the wedding of Kalonzo's daughter, Uhuru Kenyatta was one of the chief guests, actually missing in action to prove our point that Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi are not going to pull on the same, are not going to work together, is that Rigathi was missing from that particular wedding. Yet, remember, Rigathi and Kalonzo have been cozy of late. So I think Uhuru Kenyatta decided that his way forward is to work with Ruto to the exclusion of Rigathi Gachagua. And Kalonzo Musyoka might toe that particular line. Kalonzo is very, very loyal to Uhuru Kenyatta. And so why Ruto went to him is that Kalonzo Musyoka is the one who is bringing the issue, is delaying the reconstitution of IBC. Why? He's the one who went to court to oppose the nomination of a panelist. If he was to be convinced otherwise, the panel will be reconstituted even tomorrow. And the person who has a sway over Kalonzo Musyoka and can convince him otherwise is one Uhuru Kenyatta. And so that is why they talked about IBC. And I think Ruto just went direct. If we need to have IBC appointed, but the person who is causing the delay is none other than Kalonzo Musyoka, who is also very good at playing to the gallery, is one of the people trending appoint IBC now when he knows very well he is delaying the entire process by the virtue that he went to court to stop it. So Ruto, I think, believes that if Uhuru was to get involved and talk to Kalonzo, this would make Kalonzo maybe withdraw the cases, and then the IBC selection panel can be formed. Two is Raila Odinga's AUC. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta is a former president. It had been said that he did not like the candidature of Raila Odinga, that he believed it was the one who should have been fronted for that position. And remember, there is no official statement of Uhuru Kenyatta endorsing Raila Odinga's AUC candidature. Even when Raila Odinga was being unveiled at State House, where even former heads of state like Jakaya Kikwete were present, Olusegun Obasanjo, Uhuru skipped that particular event. He did not appear. And he has never given a formal statement endorsing Raila Odinga. Remember, he's a former president, like I said, so he has a serious sway among other presidents because these were now his colleagues. William Ruto might want to tap into that so that Uhuru can help them with that diplomacy, convincing other leaders that perhaps Uhuru had created friendship with to help them get that particular seat. So Uhuru's role, Uhuru coming in to endorse Raila Odinga the way it has happened, is very important because he can also now sway his friends that perhaps were having second thoughts about Raila Odinga's candidature, and the friends, and by friends I mean presidents, to reconsider and start supporting Raila Odinga. So that is how Uhuru Kenyatta comes in my opinion, and it is very integral because if you have Uhuru Kenyatta, who was former president and has friends across the continent also backing you, and he has the wherewithals to actually do a lot in terms of finances. So that is a big boost to Raila's AUC candidate. The third issue was broad-based government, why it is important to have an all-inclusive government. Remember, when the Gen Zs were on the street and Raila said that he preferred dialogue as opposed to anarchy, he also said when he was in I think in Rift Valley, he said that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who called him and told him to go and look for Ruto to save the country. You remember? He said that plainly, that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who called him and asked him to go and reach out to Ruto. And my argument was twofold, that either Raila was lying or Uhuru Kenyatta was pro Ruto. But if you see what happened is that when Uhuru Kenyatta came back, he's been more pro Ruto and Kindiki than he is pro Rigathi. In fact, I don't know whether they have met with Raila Odinga openly or publicly during the time he's been here. But from the look of things, if he's the one who told Raila to work with Ruto, then chances are that he endorses this government moving forward. Now, if he endorses the broad-based government, it seems he's also going to try his level best to bring Kalonzo into government. The question we are asking is Kalonzo going to agree? Because Kalonzo is seeing a path to presidency. If he gets the support of Mount Kenya and the money from Uhuru Kenyatta, and he gets to get the support of Luos, he is president. But without Uhuru's money, okay, without Uhuru's money, and with a divided mountain, because if Uhuru decides to take Rigathi head on, he wouldn't get a majority, but he would get a sizable number, just the way he did for Raila. There are people in that mountain who believes in him. So if he can get that sizable number for Ruto, then Ruto adds with whatever it is that he would already get from Raila Odinga, Kalonzo has no chance. So I think, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, Uhuru's role might be to either bring Kalonzo into government, into supporting Ruto, or if Kalonzo refuses that, leave them with Rigathi Gachagua, and then do everything he can to bring a portion of Mount Kenya into back into Ruto's government, and then begin with it for business deals and what have you. That is what I think. So just as a reminder, Uhuru met Ruto at Uhuru's home. They discussed many things, including inflation and bottom-up agenda. But the three things that stood out was IBC reconstitution, broad-based government, and Raila Odinga's AUC seat, AUC bid. And I believe in IBC, Uhuru is going to help talk to Kalonzo, who is the stumbling block because he's the one who has gone to court to stop formation of IBC selection panel. Uhuru controls Kalonzo literally. So Kalonzo Musyoka is likely to listen to Uhuru Kenyatta. On the issue of AUC, I am persuaded that Uhuru Kenyatta, being a former president, still has some influence in the continent, and it doesn't hurt to add more votes to what Raila already has. And on the issue of broad-based government, I believe that somehow Uhuru Kenyatta will try his level best to bring a chunk of Kikuyus back to the government, if not to bring Kalonzo Musyoka to join William Ruto. What about Rigathi Gachagua? Because we said we are looking at what they discussed, we've done that. We're looking at what it means politically, we've done that. But what does it mean for Rigathi Gachagua? Rigathi Gachagua is in a very tight spot. He has to tell the people of Mount Kenya that Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be trusted again. After going to them, apologizing, saying that he was wrong about Uhuru, he has to now go back and tell them that actually I was wrong about Uhuru Kenyatta, and that Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be trusted. Okay? A very tough job because it makes you look ridiculous, but Rigathi doesn't care. So he has to do that, because if he doesn't do that, ladies and gentlemen, and Uhuru Kenyatta takes Mount Kenya from him, he becomes very relevant and an easy target. And I don't think Rigathi would want that, because even though he can't vie for 10 years, he needs to be relevant. He needs to remain relevant so that he can use the community to bargain and make money. Okay? Whoever is going to vie, if Rigathi Gachagua is controlling Mount Kenya, you will need to sit with him on the table. And if Uhuru Kenyatta takes Mount Kenya from Rigathi Gachagua, then he becomes very useless. So expect Rigathi Gachagua to fight Uhuru Kenyatta tooth and nail for the soul of Mount Kenya. Chances are that he's going to win because, like I told you, Mount Kenya, once you bring Raila on board, you lose them. So they will likely side with Rigathi Gachagua. The sad part for Rigathi is that he won't have solid Mount Kenya because some are still going to be loyal to Uhuru Kenyatta. That is if Uhuru Kenyatta decides to go another route, take the people of Mount Kenya to William Ruto. Okay? Some of them will listen to Uhuru Kenyatta. Others won't. The majority will not. They will be with Rigathi Gachagua. But you see, the twist here is Rigathi has to now pick Kalonzo from Uhuru Kenyatta's control. Because if he doesn't pick Kalonzo from Uhuru Kenyatta's control, chances are that Uhuru Kenyatta will bring Kalonzo to William Ruto. And if that happens, then Rigathi does not have a candidate. Because Rigathi's candidate is Kalonzo Musyoka. And if Uhuru controls that Kalonzo Musyoka, you even saw them in Kalonzo's daughter's wedding yesterday. They're close. And Rigathi was missing from there because Kalonzo would not invite him where Uhuru is. Uhuru and Rigathi are not in very good terms. I understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi's two options are: one, fight Uhuru Kenyatta for the soul of Mount Kenya, make sure that he gets the majority of the people of Mount Kenya. And two, which is very important, he should find a way of making sure that he now controls Kalonzo. He takes Kalonzo from Uhuru Kenyatta and control him, because otherwise he will be without a candidate. I hope this video was useful, ladies and gentlemen. If you also agree, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. Otherwise, thank you for taking your time to watch. Let's meet in the next video.